We're here at the sacred shell mound that's being desecrated by this corporate killer consumerism. And we have with us the blessing of Elder Wounded Knee de Ocampo. Wounded, can you tell us just your feelings on, first of all, what happened in Vallejo where with the indigenous resistance to the use of our indigenous people for their mascots?
Well, thank you very much for the interview. But it's been a 13-year battle to remove this mascot. It's called the Vallejo Apache, and I felt at that time because the Washington Redskins, we've been protesting that for many, many years with the American Indian movement. I know it was started back in 1960 with this lady called Harjo, I think, Harjo, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, to remove these racist mascots. And this one here in Vallejo, I used to go to the games, and I used to hear them running around the gym dressed up like native people in costumes, which are really called regalia, and drumming and singing, chanting, womp 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 womp. That's not the way Native American people do. The songs and the drums are very sacred, so they're marking our culture and our religion. But the mascot had to come down. It took 13 years. I approached many of these Unified School District board members. I helped them get elected, and one of them stated to me 13 years ago, Wounded, if you help me get elected here on the school board, I will see that this mascot will be removed. And he lived up to his word. I have to say that. His name was A. Stewart Ward, and I honored him for keeping his word. And I honor another guy that sits on that board. His name is Dr. Ubaldi. He told me, Wounded, you came to me many years and told me about these racist mascots, that they were very demeaning, very dehumanizing, very depicting toward Indian people. And I understand now. I understand what you're talking about. And tonight, you have my vote. I will make that decision tonight, and I vote to remove that mascot. And I'm very sorry. He apologized for that.
Can you tell us, were there a lot of people in the community or students or whoever that were actually fighting you on this?
Yes, there were some students that were protesting. There was several men spoke for it to keep the mascot. One of them was, I believe, was Jack Renfro. He spoke and said he was an athlete director. He was the coach at that time in the 50s, and I remember him because I went to that school. And he told me he honored the mascot. He's Apache, but he wasn't focusing when he was speaking to the board. He was looking at me and speaking to me, and I thought I felt it. So he kept saying he was Apache, and I asked him. I said, "Excuse me, sir, Mr. Jack, what Apache tribe are you from?" And he said, "I'm not Apache." And the way he said it, he said, "I'm not Apache, and I don't believe there's Apache in this room." And my friend Miguel was standing next to me and said it in a very strong spiritual voice, said, "I am Apache." In the room got very quiet. So yes, and then when I just spoke a minute ago about this guy came up to me and said, "Wounded, I think you're wrong for removing that mascot. We're honoring." They always use the word honoring, and I understand that. But how are you honoring us when you came and you stole our land? You killed our people. You scalped our people. You put our people in boarding school. You killed our children. You raped our women, and et cetera, et cetera. And is that honoring? He said, "Well, you know what, Wounded? That happened a long time ago. It's still happening today with these shell mounds, removing our ancestors from their graves, and still taking the land because they're still building on top of these sacred sites like this mall, like parks that we protected, one in Vallejo, and churches and roads, just like Earl explained. They took the bones right here from the shell mound with the lonely people and built roads with them, built roads with them in Dwight Way and one other street he named in Berkeley. Boy, that brought tears from They're driving over our bones of our ancestors. So yes. And then we go back to the mascots. I asked the people to not not to purchase any items or merchandise that got these mascots on them, because they're walking around promoting racism against indigenous people.
Thank you. Last word to viewers or listeners on other, like the NFL. What do we got going for next?
Well, we want to remove that Washington Redskins because it's very demeaning and very discriminating to have this Washington Redskins, because they skinned our people. But he don't want to remove it because of the merchandise and big money's involved. But President Obama even said to remove it. It's very offensive toward Native Americans. Bob Costa, one of the sports commentator, even said it. It was very insulting. Ron Darling, he used to pitch for the New